Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar. This is 9/11 2019, 18 years after the WTC and Pentagon and Pennsylvania terrorist attacks. Now, some of you who listen to this podcast might not know this, but I was a New York City police officer and police sergeant for 20 years. So on September 11th, 2001, I had just over 5 years on. I was assigned to the precinct's ComStat unit. I used to basically do statistics, and I would geocode crime maps. And I was geocoding crime maps that Tuesday morning when the first building got hit. I shared an office with my commanding officer, and he wasn't in yet, but I put this was 2001, one of those big butt TVs. It was on this rolling cart. So I turned it on, took it face my desk a bit, and I could keep track of what was going on, the ongoing events. And as I was watching, I saw the second tower get hit. So on TV, I saw the second plane hit the second tower. My sergeant was in the room at the time. She wasn't paying attention, but I turned to Michelle and I said, "Michelle, we got to suit up." And sure enough, less than 10 seconds later, over the precinct intercom, the orders came down. All administrative personnel are being mobilized. And we were. And they sent 8 cops and 1 sergeant with me at the driver. My sergeant was the sergeant with us. And we reported from the South Bronx, Foreman Precinct, down to WTC. Now, our mobilization point where they wanted us to arrive was, I believe, pretty much at the foot of Building 2, Tower 2. In any case, needless to say, traffic was horrendous trying to get downtown. It was a Tuesday morning. You stuck at the tail end of the rush hour. Now you have this horror going on. And shit became real for me when we got down to Houston. And we're trying to cross Houston Street. And I see 2 civilians directing traffic. Now, actually, before I saw the civilians, I saw the shopping cart. Yeah, if you've ever seen the classic TV homeless person with a shopping cart, it was a homeless man's shopping cart with a briefcase in that spot where your child will ride. You used to see children riding them in supermarkets, because it was a homeless man and a Wall Street businessman directing traffic on Houston Street. And they were directing traffic so emergency vehicles could get through. And that's when I turned to my sergeant and I was like, this shit's real. This shit is real. We arrived at City Hall, behind City Hall, between City Hall and One Police Plaza, Brooklyn Bridge, that area. If you know that area of Manhattan, I got onto the sidewalk there. And there was just a sea of people around us, everybody trying to either go north or go east across the Brooklyn Bridge. And this lieutenant comes out of One Police Plaza in her civilian attire and tells my sergeant that she wants us to move the van and mobilize it. And I'm looking at this lieutenant. I'm like, Lou, there's nowhere we're going. We're here. And as I'm saying that, I felt a rumble. And then I heard, I guess, the thunder, or what do you want to call it? And I saw the Tower 2 start to basically implode on itself. And I was told, because I don't remember this, but I was told that my reaction was, oh fuck, oh my fucking God, oh fuck. And I am immensely proud of the people that I served with, with the exception of one individual, and I hold no grudges. In those situations, you're not always in control of your actions. Instincts take over, and not everybody's instincts are the same. One person wanted me to just throw it in reverse and drive over people. He wound up running out the back. But the others of us, the 7 cops, the 1 sergeant, everybody left the van and started grabbing people in shock and running north. Me and my sergeant in the front of the van, I turned to Michelle and I said, Michelle, it's been a pleasure working with you. And she turned back at me. She said, if I was going to die with anybody besides my husband, it should be you. Always a fucking funny ass. But I then asked her, what are we going to do? And she's like, we're Bronx cops. What do you think we're going to do? And my response, we're going to yell at people and smack them. And we did. We yelled at people and told them to run. And then I smacked people in the ass with my nightstick. And I gave them shoves. And I tried to wake them out of their shock. And I thought I was going to die. Don't think of me as anything other than a person that was at peace with the reality that I saw at the moment. I thought I was going to die. I was not going to die running. I was not going to die cowering. I was going to die doing the job that the city hired me to do, which was to protect its people as best I could. And that wall of shit, that thunderous roar, that rolling pile of asbestos-filled building rubble, it ended maybe 15, 20 yards in front of us. And instead of sounding then like these huge waves of the ocean, just magnitudes louder, became a puff of, I'm assuming, asbestos-filled dust that turned us gray in our dark blue uniforms. And there was one individual in front that I could see on the sidewalk who was pretty much, if you've seen The Thinker, that statue, who's, like on one knee with their resting their head on their hand. It was kind of like in that position. And I ran up to him. And I put my hand on his shoulder and he just fell over. And there was an EMT, private ambulance, EMTs doing triage nearby. And I brought one of them over to give aid. And he took the pulse and just shook his head. And we left the body there because there was other stuff to do. That's the day. That's how my day started. I thought I was going to be doing maps, and instead I was in hell. If you weren't there, if you didn't know somebody that was there or have close family or a friend that was lost there, my gaming group, we lost a friend that I'd known half my life at that time. It isn't just part of our past. This event defines our current situation and our future. And I've never seen a city the size of New York come together like it did. My God, in those hours, days, weeks, months after 9/11, despite the horrors, despite seeing the burning towers every morning I was going to work and getting sent down to the World Trade Center for security or escort duties, and being down there for 16, 18, 20 hours, I didn't begrudge it because the people appreciated it. I think of times like now, and I'm going to break one of my rules. We are so politicized, whether it's to the left or to the right, that we forget it's our commonalities that are our strength. Sure, differences help define us, but our commonalities are our strength. And after 9/11, we knew what we had in common. We knew it. Our love of our community, our love of our country, our love of our fellow man brought us together, kept us together. And if you're going to remember 9/11, sure, don't forget the fucking assholes that did this shit. All right? But the best way to remember this day is to remember your fellow man, the fellow people, your community. Participate in your community. Help in your community. Become more than just a sum of the parts, because as horrible as 9/11 was, and it was a fucking shit show and a horror, some good came out of it. I saw a lot of good people you wouldn't expect, just do what they felt they had to do for their fellow man. So again, if you're going to do something for 9/11, volunteer. Give back. Give of yourself. It's the best way to remember those that we lost. As always, folks, God bless. God bless everybody that we have lost and everybody that we will continue to lose, because, folks, we are still losing people to 9/11 related illnesses, cancers, respiratory problems. It's not going to end. And don't ever forget, you do a disservice not just to the people that were lost, but the people that weren't lost, that live on, that remember, and that gave back to their fellow man. So don't remember it as best you can by giving back. Like I said, find a way to give back to your community. That's the best way to remember our losses and the prices paid for such a tragedy. All right, folks. Hopefully tomorrow I won't be so morbidly depressing. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate it.